Running a farm takes teamwork, organization, and efficient workflows to keep everything running smoothly. I'm Christine Hernandez, Livestock Manager, and in this video, we're going to share our tools, systems, and daily operations that help us manage our farm effectively. Covering everything from team communication to daily livestock chores for pigs, poultry, cattle, and sheep. Whether you're looking to streamline your processes or pick up a few tips, we have something for every farmer. Let's go. When you're working on a farm with multiple people on your team, efficient communication is just as important as the livestock themselves. Here are some of the ways that our team communicates to ensure efficient workflow. Every Friday, we have a weekly team meeting where we ensure that everyone is on the same page. Also during that time, we will fill out our work schedule for the following week so we can make sure all of our enterprises have coverage. During that meeting, we will also reference our year at a glance calendar so that we can ensure all of our important dates are on our schedule. On a daily basis, our team's main form of communication is going to be through our group chats. Within WhatsApp, we have several different group chats associated with the different enterprises. So that way, if one enterprise, example poultry, needs something, everyone else doesn't get notified. Before we get into our daily routine, here are some tools that help us ensure a productive workflow. As you can see behind me, we have a printed out map of our entire ranch that we can reference back to at any time. We also have smaller laminated versions that we can use markers on. In a pinch, we can also pull up the map on our phone and use a digital copy. As you're out and about on your farm and you don't have good cell service, a good option to ensure communication would be some walkie-talkies. And if you have a memory like mine and you need to create to-do lists, you can go about the traditional way of writing that on paper, or you can use the Notes app or Reminder app on your phone. Now let's get into how we have perfected our daily chores for each enterprise.
Hi, I'm Lizzie, Heifer Ranch. I'm the assistant rancher here, and I manage the cattle enterprise. This morning, we're gonna go through what cattle chores I go through on a typical day. To ensure efficient workflow, I make sure to prep the new paddock that the cattle are moving into. I walk the perimeter, I check all the fences, I make sure all the gates are closed, I set up the water tanks to make sure that the water's ready to go with no leaks before I make the move with the herd. Today, the cattle are in the flood. If you don't know what a flood is, check out one of our other videos. The cows are ready here at the fence. We're ready to open up a gate and let them go into the new paddock. Here we go! I also take this opportunity to watch each of the cows as they go through, looking for any kind of health issues that they might be having. The cattle are trained to come when I call, but the sheep need a little push. There's always one or two that don't quite understand and they need a little extra help. After I get the cattle moved into their next paddock, I come back and move some of the resources that we use, starting with their free choice mineral feeder. What I do the night before is I make sure that I load up on any minerals that they're low on so that I can restock them when I do the check the next day. So last night, they needed these two minerals, salt and boron. So I bring those down with me to be a little bit more efficient so I don't have to make so many trips. If you want to learn more about our free choice mineral feeder, click the link in the description. So after I take care of the cattle's needs, then I have to come back and pick up what the sheep need. So here I'm going to be pulling the mineral sled that holds mineral for the sheep. You notice that the dogs are here too, the sheep guardian dogs, Knox and Pip. After I move the sheep mineral feeder, I'll be dragging their dog feeder cage over into the new paddock as well. In order to be efficient with my time, I like to have an ATV in order to be able to get out into the pasture and get around the cattle. And it doesn't have a lot of carrying capacity. So I found this Craftsman tool kit. And so I can have all the things that I would need to process a new calf that's born, some jumper cables, a hammer. Maybe I've got a water leak with our tank. I need some washers. Or my charger isn't working correctly. I have some replacement leads, as well as just normal wrenches and screwdrivers to fix any kind of problem I might find out here in the pasture. Another accessory I use to be efficient with my time is a trailer. I haul the trailer behind my ATV in order to move things like water tanks, to carry step-in posts or other fencing supplies. Then I have my trusty bucket so that I can get some of the water out of these tanks before I dump them and save my back a little agony. Now that I'm finished making sure everything is in the new paddock, I want to close up the fence and make sure that it's electrified at the right rate. So I close it back up, I hang the reel on the barbed wire fence, hook my leads and my ground up to my fence, turn on my solar charger, get out my Gallagher fault finder, and test the charge on the fence.
If you like our content, help us help you. Take the survey in the description below and get a chance to win a free hat. It's time to do our morning pig chores, so come along with me as I walk you through our efficient workflow. The first thing I check when I come down here to do the pig chores would be our solar charger. I always have my Gallagher fault finder with me, so I just simply put this on the pig perimeter fence and test it. So with pigs, I like it to be 3,000 kilovolts or more. Next thing I do is I am going to put their wallow hose, hang it on a tree within their paddock, and that way their wallow can be filling up as I do my perimeter walk of their electric fence. So I have one main hose that comes off of the water hydrant connected to a brass Y shutoff. That way I can have two more hoses out here. One hose is going to go directly to their Rubbermaid water tank, and then the other hose is going to be for their wallow. And that way I can turn it on and shut it off as I need to. While their wallow is filling up, I'm gonna go ahead and take a minute to walk their perimeter fence. Once I come up to their water tank that is along the perimeter fence, I will unhook the electric fence from it. I'm going to dump that water out backwards of their paddock. I have a scrub brush in my pig bucket. I'll rinse it out, move that water tank down the fence a little ways, rehook it up, and we are good to go. You're gonna get shocked in the face if you don't watch out. You get your drink. Now that I am finishing the perimeter walk, we will go ahead and go inside the paddock and check on their pasture feeder. On pasture, we use the Osborne feeder, the RO45. If you want to know more about how we use that with our pig batches, go ahead and check out our other video. As I'm doing morning chores, the things I check on the feeder, for one is I'll look inside and look at how much feed is in the feeder and kind of estimate when they'll need another fill up. And then I will check and ensure that the proper amount of feed is coming out into the trough. As I check the trough of the feeder, I will use my two tools that I have in my pig bucket, a putty scraper and a kitty litter scoop. So I'll just go along the inside of the trough, scrape out any feed that is caked up, and then I'll use my kitty litter scoop and I can shake it out. The mud or caked up feed will be in the scoop. The good feed will fall through, and then I can toss that mud or caked feed out of the trough. The last thing I do is check their wallow. I want to ensure that there is enough water in there for all the pigs to go and wallow around throughout the day. Once it's full enough, I will take the hose down, take it outside of the paddock, and shut it off. One of the ways we stay efficient with our pig chores is we have a pig bucket. It has everything we would need to do simple repairs, and this moves along with our pigs as they move from paddock to paddock. If you want to see what is inside this bucket, check out our other YouTube video.
All right, we are heading down to do the schooner chores down in our pastures. And so first we're gonna do chores with the turkeys here. We're gonna start with moving them first. We bring down a tractor and we hook it up to a cable that's outside. There'll be a person in back with an orange flag, and they'll be waving the turkeys forward so that they move forward when the schooner pulls forward. And then once they reach the new patch of grass, the person in back will signal the tractor driver to stop. They will come back through and hook up the waters, and then we start feeding them. We fill all of these feeders with the turkey feed that we have outside in the grain cart. Then we come through and we wash the water bowls that we have here. So we just take this brush every day and we kind of just brush it around and dump the dirty water out. Once both of the turkey schooners are moved, then we set up our day range fence. Our day range fence is poultry netting, and we have that electrified with our Gallagher Charger S400. We will let them outside once everything is all set up and ready. They can choose to go outside or stay inside in the shade, and then we will allow them to just kind of be what they want to do, and they have plenty of space to run around. So now that we're done moving and feeding the schooners, we're going to fill out the record sheet that we've got here. This record sheet just keeps us really organized. There's notes on it that we can make of what happened throughout the day. We record feed, any possible mortality, and it just keeps us really, really organized so I can look back at our records from years prior as well. But behind this record sheet, we have our tool pouch that I keep in every schooner that we have. So inside it, we have little parts for the waters in case something in these waters break. We have plumber's tape to fix waters and hoses, and we have a screwdriver that'll help us with these hose clamps. We also have a backup pen in case we lose our pen for our record sheet. We have a shutoff valve. Just more of these parts that are going to be really good. Mainly what we have issues in here is waters will break, so we just have a lot of those things. Just backup hose clamps and another hose fitting here. It just kind of prevents us from having a lot of inefficiencies and doing a lot of back and forth driving because it is pretty far. It's probably about a 5-minute drive back up to our main tool section. And so this will just save us probably about a 10-minute drive. Once we're done with the turkey chores, we will head over to the broiler schooners that we have. Basically, those chores are the same thing. We'll be moving them and feeding them and washing their waters. And the only main difference that is between the broiler schooners and the turkey schooners is that the broilers don't day range. And that is so that they have extra shade and extra protection inside from the outside predators and the outside weather.
With fewer staff working over the weekend, at the end of every week, we perform our vehicle checklist. We make sure that our vehicles have gas, we check the oil, and clean out the air filters. And we make sure to fill all of our food containers so we can ensure an efficient, productive weekend. Thanks for joining us as we walked through our tools and systems that keep our farm running smoothly. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more farming tips. And let us know in the comments what strategies work best for your farm. If you'd like to go on a tour of Heifer Ranch, click here. If you'd like to learn more about our Flurd, click here. Thank you. Have a good day.